phone?
Yeah, but I'm just looking at the meter now just to see.
To make sure it's reading.
Because I heard it. I just want to make sure that it's not going too high, too low. While I'm Because I don't think I want to keep the headphones on the whole time. So.
Yeah, I was saying. It can become annoying.
Let me check y'all sound. Kind of get in your comfortable position of where you're going to be talking at.
More so what you want. Daniel, scoot over just slightly, yes.
Do that again. You're not going to be that close to the mic the whole time, are you?
Nah.
So talk like you're going to be...
You're gonna be right here.
So I need to turn you up. Talk again so I can see which mic that is.
4.
Go ahead, sit back and talk.
You got it? You hear me?
Say it again.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Alright.
This joint only got a little bit of battery, you know. No, I thought it was plugged in.
All these cords and all these
None of them is power. I thought it was showing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we got to hustle up. We're gonna use this. Which number is that? 2.
Dang, that's really crazy.
I'll push yours down closer. Go ahead, say something.
Hold on. Is it possible you can hand me that charger that's in my bag?
Say something, Daniel.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm sorry.
One more time.
Yeah.
Timing is impeccable. Try it.
That'd be crazy if it weren't.
Good.
Ooh. Yeah. Go ahead.
Who's out there?
Oh, okay. Oh, see, look at it.
And it's charging.
Ooh.
What you got?
Don't let me forget this because this is mine.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have that. That's for my computer. Trying to find where this Wi-Fi is.
Sing that song you were just singing, Daniel. So I can test your sound. You ain't gonna be that close, are you?
No.
Okay. Sing it for me back.
It's like I'm in the studio.
Okay, that's good right there.
Only thing that's really killing me is this gap in the table. But the average person won't even notice that, I guess. I'm trying not to have too much today.
Yeah, not too much selling. Alright, sound good. Y'all can take the headsets off if y'all want to, or keep them on, whatever y'all want to do. Sound is good. We ready to roll.
Alright.
Do you want him to sit by himself when he does the first question, or do you want him to like actually be at the table?
No, I can just zoom in on him and we can make it as if he just.
Okay.
So just give it like a couple seconds after he asks the question, so I can.
Got you.
Hold on. Which one am I gonna use? You hit win, use hotspot.
You guys are.
Yep.
Okay.
at this time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
I ain't saying nothing now.
Tsunami. What's that Sammy song? Tsunami.
Boy on top,
Hold on.
like a wave cap. Boy.
Cause you gonna be moving, I see it already.
Yeah, you already know
Cool.
I ain't about to sit there.
Who, me?
Yeah, so I need to give you more room, so you know how to shop. Okay, you fine, you be natural, I don't want you to. Okay,
Feel
so
blocked in.
I am rolling, and you guys can start when you're ready.
Nice eye. Take one.
Take one. So what does 40 acres mean to you? This is not the introduction. The introduction is after this. We'll introduce it. and
Say
all
it
that
clean,
stuff
I wanna
after.
hear you say that straight through. Say,
I
what
know
does
that's what
40
you're about to
acres mean to you? Pause.
Let's do fresh audio for that one. You about to restart? Or you just going the
I
whole
was
way
just gonna
down?
let it keep
Okay,
going.
alright.
What does 40 acres mean to you?
That's a good question. To me, 40 acres is the foundation of freedom that we were supposed to get. This is things that are promised that I've left, unfulfilled. 40 acres is where we start from when we talk about reparations, where we start from when we talk about getting back even. 40 acres is that fulfillment of that dream.
Hi, welcome to the WeCannBe podcast. I am Zachary Easterly.
Daniel Easterly, and we're here with our guest today,
My name is Rodney Wilson.
Ryan Wilson. So we wanted to dive in today, episode 2 of WeCannBe podcast, and the topic of today's podcast will be real estate. Okay, as everyone knows, real estate is a really big portion of the 40 acres application and kind of what we're building here, and one of the big reasons that we wanted to discuss with you and talk to you and take some time to talk to you today. We appreciate you coming out, of course. But to talk to you today is regarding real estate and the land bank here in the city of Detroit. What are some of the things that you? What is your experience with the land bank first and foremost?
All right, first and foremost, like I said before, my name is Rodney Wilson. I've been working around or with real estate for probably the past 7 to 8 years. I was Deputy Director of Community Affairs with Detroit Land Bank Authority. So I was responsible for going out and making sure people were informed about what's going on, making sure the neighborhoods knew which properties were going up for sale, which properties were going to be demolished, and kind of walking people through the 96,000 parcels of land that they owned at the peak of their existence. So right now they're phasing down, but there's land banks all across the country that you can tap into and really get engaged with. And they all try to kind of follow the Detroit model, because we were rather successful in eliminating blight in the community.
Perfect. And you said something that's interesting to me is saying that, hey, there's land banks all over the country. With us starting here in the city of Detroit and this land bank being the model, right, for a lot of the other land banks in the country, how do you believe that the land bank in not only the city of Detroit but also in other cities could be potentially beneficial to the build of the 40 acres application?
So like I always tell people when I go out, the land bank is a tool, and unless the tool is used right, you're not gonna get what you're looking for. If you try and use everything, if you only know a hammer, everything is gonna be a nail. But in order to build a house, you need the saws, you need the people to put it together, you need carpenters, you need people that understand which tools go where. That's really where I come in to be able to help to get the application to understand those pieces as well. So getting that in front of the regular, everyday person and kind of breaking down the process, because it is a long process to actually get a property from a land bank, but the end result is definitely worth it. So just allowing people to get that fractional investment into a project is going to be huge.
Perfect. And I would agree. The fractional portion of the real estate properties, and not just the land bank, because again the topic of today is real estate in general, right? But we want to give people the opportunity to invest into those fractional pieces in terms of real estate to build their portfolio, have the ability to place their money that they receive from reparations towards something that will actually benefit them in the long run as well. I know in the past we've talked offline a couple times, man, and you've told us kind of how you can see yourself being a part of 40 Acres, being a part of WeCannBe. When we are talking about kind of building from the ground up, what are some of the use cases, if you will? What are some of the use cases that you find that would be beneficial that the land bank has to offer to 40 Acres as well, if that makes sense?
Okay, so specific to the Detroit Land Bank Authority, you could definitely become a community partner. That's where you kind of put together your own portfolio of properties. You come with a business plan and the funding to get that actual property, and they'll give it to you pretty much free. As long as you have the plan is solid, you go to the board of directors for them. They'll be able to get you involved in different projects, and as you continue to grow and continue to build, they'll continue to feed that pipeline for you. You can definitely, the 40 Acres app will be a good platform to show that you have, X amount of people investing X amount of dollars into this certain project. That definitely gives you some backing. You can take that to city council, you can take that to the mayor, and they'll back you on that as well. It's really about having a platform where people can come together to do that sort of investment that really you're filling a void nobody's doing that right now.
Yeah, and I think it's all about unity, and I would agree with you again. And we talk all the time, but the unity aspect of it, where everybody comes together to put their money to use. But with us building, right, and everybody uniting, I think, and this is me saying this now, is saying, hey, we want to be able to unite not only just the real estate portion, but the Black-owned businesses in terms of creating or recreating the Black Wall Street, right? We want to be able to have a social aspect to the application as well, to where people feel that unity, they feel that togetherness, but they also have people that are there to assist them. And my goal, as one of the C-level people in the WeCannBe or in 40 Acres, I have the desire, right, for us to eventually have some integration with the land bank to a certain extent, where we have the ability to list those properties for people to invest in to make it easier for them. And I think that would be in an ideal, in a perfect world, and maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but I like to think at the 30,000 foot view, right? Saying, hey, eventually that integration will be possible because our application will be so important to the industry, to where we have the ability to have access to that. We have the ability for people not just to look it up on the land bank, but immediately go in and purchase real estate, but also invest into it as well. So that's something that I believe. Zachary, did you have any questions?
But before we start, I just want to say that even outside of working with the land bank, the people that have bought the homes from the land bank, those are definitely an avenue, because it's over 7,000 people that have purchased properties from the land bank that can't finish them. They don't have the resources to finish them. They bought them during the pandemic, so they bought them with unemployment money. You buy $1,000 house, you got to put $100,000 into it. Now you stuck with this house, and that's a whole another bottleneck. That if you can solve that sort of problem, where you can get those private homeowners to list with you, then that's a whole nother pipeline that you have,
Right, and I think that's the crazy thing about this concept now, is just saying, hey, we're giving people that aren't living in Detroit even the ability to invest into these homes, to help people build these homes, to help pay off these homes really quickly. Because from my understanding, a lot of the land bank homes themselves have like flooring issues or roofing issues, things like that, and between reparations, the government assistance, grants, the application itself, I believe that anyone, and we're trying to give anyone, right, the access, the wherewithal, the ability, the education even, to go into this application and know exactly what they're doing with real estate, knowing that they're getting equity into these investment properties, equity into other people, right? And I think even when you think back on what slavery was in a sense, is, hey, that was one of the first $1 trillion industries in the world, right? And the next industry, and all that did is change, right? And it turned into us being incarcerated and different things like that. But when you think about this industry, we're combining Black-owned businesses, which is a $1 trillion industry, because the black dollar itself is worth $39 trillion to the U.S. economy every year. Right, we spend money left and right. Then you think about the real estate portion of it. That's $1 trillion industry, whether it goes up or down. Right, most times that's staying in that same trajectory, and I want to see this flourish to the point where it's not even a question for people to hear 40 acres and understand, hey, this is something that will be beneficial to me. It'll be beneficial to my kids in the future. It'll be beneficial to other races who want to benefit from African American created products, solutions, whatever it may be, because we're at the starting point. But with the vision, it has so many capabilities, so many different things that it can connect to, that I can see it going really, really far. But yeah.
When I was blessed to be able to go over to Africa, one of the things that really stuck out to me was them saying that, like, you know, African Americans, we're really the 10th richest nation spending wise in the world, number 10, and we don't use that power to do anything productive for the people here. That's why a lot of countries don't like us, because we're the 10th richest nation, and yet we don't have anything for ourselves. We don't really own much. We're happily to spend and invest in different things, and it's more than pastime to put our money where our mouth is and invest in ourselves.
You have a couple of programs within the land bank that talk about occupied buyback programs and occupied property disposition. For people that don't understand what those programs are about, can you explain a little bit about those programs?
Okay, so essentially the way that the land bank comes into properties is they go through foreclosure. After they go through foreclosure, the property is assessed to see if it should be sold or demolished. In the course of that assessment, you may find people living in the property, so you don't want to put them people out on the street. You don't want to have them, you know, just without a home, even if it is looking dilapidated and vacant from some slumlord that bought 50 properties 10 years ago, and now, you know, they're just living in that property. So we give them the opportunity to buy that property. So they have to go through a program, they get financial counseling, they get different resources to be able to become a homeowner. And I don't know how many they've done now, because I haven't been there in 3 years or so I'm not sure how well it's going, but when the last we did it, it was about 300 people at the Northwest Activity Center that came out, they went through the program, and they were getting a deed that day.
Awesome.
Just play football.
Among other things, it happened at the Northwest Activity Center.
Use the ball, boy, don't make it up. We talked, you pretty brought about resources, and that's the reason why I'm glad that you was able to explain on that, because you know, the biggest thing that we understand is we don't have resources available to us. You know, granted, they're out there, but people don't know exactly where to pinpoint these resources at. You know, granted, some people have to do their research, but the thing is that we want to be able to give the people opportunity to understand that there's a resource where we have, you know, 40 acres, and we want to be able to know that you're able to get your financial literacy from this app as well, understanding your worth within our dollar, right? So every resource is that available to you that you can able to invest, see a return in your investment, and understand that, you know, you're creating wealth for yourself, but at the same time, if you're making a smart move, you know, especially, you know, that's the whole conversation about, you know, life insurance policies, and understanding that you want to pass down, you know, generational wealth. A lot of it is life insurance policies. Let's put in perspective, very black person, understand if you put yourself in get a life insurance policy, that's generational wealth for operate. You know, people don't think about that, but when we talk about resources, even when we talk about people not understanding that, you know, you've been living in the house for so long that eventually, you know, you don't even know where the deed is at, or the house has been passed down to you.
Or you think it's been passed down to you, you're living in there, so
right.
You died, and I got a free house. That's not it.
Right, and it's not even that case no more. And then and you don't even know that, you know, you should pay in state. You gotta pay property taxes on the house even after the house is paid for, right? And you have people that are getting evicted and not knowing that there's these opportunities in these resources to them. So I think 40 Acres is going to be able to do that, and we hope that we'll be able to give that same opportunity to to our clients and stuff like that to be able to understand their resources and their community as well, because let's put it in perspective. Even if they don't understand the fact that they can buy the property, there's a vacancy in your neighborhood that you can even buy the land right next to it. There's an empty lot. 90% of Detroit is empty lots, right? And people don't even understand that they have the opportunity to buy that. It's just sitting there empty. So.
Well, I would say that slavery definitely did a number on us. They took us from our natural creator type of space and turned us into consumers. So we're conditioned to consume constantly, and that's really what's hurting us. Is once we get to that mindset of we can create a space here, we can create a space there. Because how did Detroit even become so dilapidated? It's not like it's a brand new turf. It's not like they took this land from somewhere else. It's been here, and now it's all of a sudden getting that sort of investment because it's getting that sort of attention because people are coming with plans and dollars behind those plans. So that's really the biggest thing, is to see our own worth in real time and get ahead of that.
And I think it's and I'll talk about reverse engineering systems and whatnot. And I do real estate in Texas. That's where my main real estate license is. And I know a lot of people who want to invest in real estate out here, and I see really great benefits just for people who want to do that. But when it comes to slavery and us getting what we're owed in terms of that, I feel like this is the perfect application for us to take advantage of that spending. What you were talking about spending, right? Where we are conditioned to spend at a very high rate, and it's going to be really hard for us to change that by telling people to, hey, you have to stop spending the money that you've been spending your entire life, versus us telling you to stop spending the money that you've been spending your whole life. Let's create a system to where we elongate the time that dollar spends in our own community, saying, hey, we'll help you be an owner of your own house. By what? By how? Because people are wanting to invest in you. People are wanting to invest in these properties. All right, how are we doing that? Okay, we're creating a system where Black-owned products are at the top of the list for anyone Black to invest in, but anyone outside of our own culture is now put in a position where they're having to come to us as well to invest into our dollars as well. So instead of us losing that money by giving it to other people, we're keeping the money and then gaining money on top of that as well. And what WeCannBe stands for now, and I maybe not have told you that this before, is that with equity, we're creating a new narrative for the Black experience. That's what WeCannBe stands for. With equity, create a new narrative for the Black experience. And that's what we're attempting to do, is because I know, and I say this all the time, I said it on the first episode, but equity is important, so important to the business. Why? Because we're now in a position where you can't do anything, you can't gain any money without investing. You can't do anything within real estate in terms of investing without understanding equity as well, right? We can't change the narrative for Black people by telling everybody we're going to change it. We have to create a system that makes people do an action, a call to action, and saying, hey, this is the system, you have it, and it's under your nose. And if you use it, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping your brother. And I know for me, I talk about ideologies, right? And W.E.B. Du Bois is one of the biggest ideologies that I think of when I think about this application. Why? Because there's a sense of double consciousness for the Black community, where we have a face that we have for ourselves around the people that we know, and then we have a face that the news, other cultures tell us that we are as well, and we have to kind of live through that double view. And my hopes with this application in terms of real estate, Black-owned businesses, whatever it may be, is to remove that double consciousness and say, hey, we have one face. And now it's all of our faces, but it's one thing. We're united and it's one face. You can't tell us about ourselves because we know what we're doing with our money. You can't police us the same way you have in the past any longer. Why? Because we have control of our money. We have control of our assets. We have control of our real estate. we're all potentially homeowners now, right? In the next 10 years, we're all potentially homeowners to where, hey, there's no such thing as redlining. There's no such thing as someone outpricing you or underpricing you for a home that's in your community any longer because, hey, I'm investing into the realtors that are Black first. I'm investing into the therapists that are Black first because this application is giving all types of businesses, all types of realtors, whether you have an Airbnb, real estate, whether you have an Airbnb, a part of the land bank, whatever it may be, you're having the ability to take advantage of this, and that's my hope. So, yeah.
Definitely. People, I would say that, ownership is one of the biggest things that drew me to this because that's what we really need, that foundation of ownership. People vote every day and now don't even realize it. You vote with your dollar every day. And every dollar you spend goes to investing in something that either you don't believe in or something that's gonna hurt you. Giving them a vehicle to invest in something that empowers their people, themselves, their community is definitely something that's gonna change the world. So I'm excited.
We're revitalizing the city and being able to know that we are trying to go in each community and giving Black people opportunity to revitalize the city. Can you speak upon like how this opportunity helps the city revitalize their neighborhoods as well?
Yeah, so because ultimately, like what they've been trying to do is, attract people from outside the city to come in and try and buy these things, but really, like, Detroit is still gonna be Detroit.
Yeah.
So if you don't know how to sink or swim there, you're not gonna succeed. So a lot of people have been getting the blues about, investing in Detroit and investing and not having somebody on the block to watch your house.
Mm-hmm.
You do still need people to watch your house. You do still need to know the neighbors on the block
Right.
if you want to be successful in the city. So by empowering the people that are already there to become homeowners, that's really what they need. Because so many people, we're almost a rental majority city, and we've always been a home ownership led city. So we just took that back over last year. We're 51% homeowners, but for the past 3-4 years, we've been trending downward.
Mm-hmm.
So people renting, people not taking ownership of their community, people not caring.
Mm-hmm.
So to get people to care, that's the strongest thing that you can do when you actually empower somebody on that block to buy a property that they know that there's piece of land.
People take care of everything better.
Yeah.
If they know that they own it, people are willing to take and put time into what they perceive as something that's worth value. And if you know what time it takes, the expectation it takes to take care of something, you eventually take care of it and mold it into what you need to.
And you also got to think about the foundation of this country. This country was made for white men who own property to vote, specifically white men who own property. So they just took out the white man, and it's still geared towards people who own property. It's just, not as proclaimed, but if you look at the Constitution, it was created for white men.
I think it's based off of tax, I think, and I could be wrong, but I think I remember seeing this where your property taxes, based off your taxes, is basically how well your school district does. So the money that the taxes that are taken within the city, basically is a reflection. The school is a reflection of your neighborhood, based off the how they tax the city and how they tax certain areas of the city. That really shows how your neighborhood school is, and you tend to see a lot of your neighborhood schools not doing very well. When it comes down to how they're taken care of, when you're talking about the school in general, when you're talking about piping, water.
That's also mismanagement too, because how do we have so many people in the city? We have the biggest tax base being overtaxed for like 10 years and still have rundown schools. So it's still mismanagement of funds. You still got to be on top of people. So that was, again, people not going to the school board meetings. You know what I'm saying? They was doing whatever they wanted with the money, but they had the money to fix these schools.
That's crazy. All right. This is the time where we will end. I will see if Daniel has any final questions or any concerns, my friend. I'm assuming not.
Shaking his back up. Appreciate y'all.
Rodney, I appreciate you joining, my brother. Thank you again for the conversation. You have any last words, anything that you want to speak on Rodney?
No. I'm excited to be on the project. Glad you guys, thank you for having me. look forward to seeing everything that you've been working on.
I got one question.
Okay.
Really quickly.
Okay.
Based on our conversations, if you had to explain the application to a 4-year-old, what would the application be, and how would you include the land bank into that explanation?
It's difficult to say without seeing the updated prototype. But from what I'm imagining, I'm hopeful that it'll be something that people can go to talk to their neighbors about sharing money to get more money.
Simple and sweet. Short and sweet.
The kids got short attention span.
But thank you for coming. Like Zach said, really appreciate you spending the time with us today. Look forward to working with you in the future. You know, we're always in discussion about the project and the next steps and everything for that. Schedule some meetings and whatnot, but really appreciate you coming out, brother.
Absolutely.
Enjoyed
Absolutely.
the conversation. And if you need anything, let us know. But appreciate you.
Appreciate you, gentlemen.
And again, this is Zach Easterly
Daniel Easterly.
and our special guest Rodney Wilson. And thank you for the second episode of the WeCannBe podcast. Yeah. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, that was cool. I wanna get, I'm thinking, this is your first guest, maybe this would be something we can do. Can I get you against this wall, just to introduce yourself?
Oh, we
what
can
you
do pitch
do.
too.
Um,
We gotta,
super simple.
I think we definitely need to hold off until we actually push the app out.
That's fine.
Okay. Cause that'd be dope content, so for every single time, like, dope content for the thing, cause it's only gonna be 10 weeks. I think we can, if we do this right. Did he tell you?
No. Oh, about TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me, yeah.
We stopped all weekend up there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Congratulations.
You know what?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Because literally they was like,
Yes.
the video's dope. That's what they was
Aw,
like.
that's
This is the
what's up.
video's dope. I think.
That's what's up.
They
So-
weren't supposed to tell us till Wednesday. Zachary got an email on Sunday or Saturday.
Very excited.
Yeah, Sunday, yeah. So
Yes.
thank you again. We truly
Absolutely,
appreciate it because it was
absolutely.
dope.
We're in some good mix right now, man, for real.
Yes. Also, when does the program start?
Next week, Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
So that's the reason why, so Wednesdays now we can't do it. So I'm
Because you'll
not.
be in the program.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's from 5 to 8
Okay.
every Wednesday. So we even when we get to Paris, we have to take that time out.
Oh, y'all gonna see Jude?
It's his wedding.
Oh, he get married? I think I
Jude
did
married?
married.
Yeah.
Oh,
They don't get
Julie.
married.
Oh.
He living in Paris?
He been living there since
I was
college.
thinking
Oh,
he was
really?
married.
He's never
He
been
never came back.
Damn.
He came back.
To
He did.
visit.
He came back. He came back for like a year and a half.
Mm.
Year and a half, 2 years because he was working at the zoo with me. And then basically after a year and a half, he ended up dipping out, and he has not been back.
What? Jude, that's my boy.
Dang, yeah. I can see him living in Paris though.
So he got
He over there starting
I'm
school.
sure, yeah.
That is so cool.
He's been doing that since high school.
Yeah, he was in, I remember him, right?
Is he a writer over there? Like, is that what he does?
Yeah, he
What does
does
he
what?
do? Like, what does he do over there?
He's a computer engineer.
Really?
Yeah.
He
not into
went
art?
back to school. He went back to school for a whole nother
He's a
year.
genius. Like,
I know that.
Oh,
part.
yeah, I know.
he went back to
is
school.
literally a
He
genius.
had to go to school and knock school out really quickly. That's just,
Yeah, I didn't even know he went back to school for that.
he's
Yeah, just simple. Your name, what do you do, and they're like, I'm
The
here
last
for
time I talked to him,
the
Zachary,
We Can
and
Be
Billy.
podcast. You know,
Okay.
simple. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to record him real quick.
I might have to follow.
3, 2, 1.
What up, though, everybody? It's your boy, Rodney Wilson. I'm here with the WeCannBe podcast, talking about the 40 Acres app. Stay tuned, some big things on the way.
Perfect. Oh, you're a pro.
You do this like I see your Instagram. I see you out there like
That was a one-take journey. All right. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you. I learned some
Absolutely.
things. I'm into real estate as well,
Okay,
so
perfect.
I'm always.
What year was you again?
07.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, nah.
All right.
Yeah. He's a little, I missed the one
The
though.
young cats. But yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so
Let's
much
get
for
that
your
picture, too.
time.
all of us real quick.
I'm gonna get your contact information from,
Oh, for sure.
from Daniel. I might wanna,
Here's the memory card too.
oh, perfect. Yeah, I guess I would do that, huh? Are you